When you think art, you think elegance, you think sophistication, not wacky Japanese anime memes. Yet, in 2009, from January 22nd to April 13th, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, yeah, that's right, the meme factory that gave us classics like oh shit! That show was on full display in the world's most prestigious art museum, under the same roof as the Mona Lisa. Now, this was no accident, and it wasn't a prank. This took years of hard work and dedication to engineer, all from one man with a dream. Meet Hirohiko Araki, the creator of JoJo and the mastermind behind our operation. In a few years, he's gonna pull off the greatest reverse heist in modern history. And it all starts with a grudge. Araki has just released the most important manga of his life. It's about a guy trying to defeat his vampire brother by channeling the power of the sun into his fist. And the reviews are in. His eyes flit from page to page. They're good. But Araki isn't smiling. See, Araki's not just any other mangaka. He's an artista. Every panel of JoJo was crafted using the finest classical techniques, Renaissance compositions, Baroque lighting, every page bursting with references to the world of fine art. But the reviews only talk about the fights, the characters. No one even noticed the art. Kinda like that time you pulled off the sickest trickshot 360 no-scope pentakill and no one was there to see it. Kinda sucked, right? But imagine that every single time you do something cool. Because for Araki, this wasn't just a one-off. It's been this way his entire career. And he can't take it anymore. So he hatches a plan. I need people to recognize my art. Wait a sec. Art? Museum? Of course! If I could just get my work into a museum? No. The greatest museum of all time? Then people will have no choice but to recognize me. I've been drawing my whole life. How hard could it be? Araki gets to work. He knows the only way he stands a chance at getting into the Louvre is by leveling up. So he starts taking trips across Japan to study the craft. He copies the triangular compositions from the 17th century greats, the dramatic interplay of light and dark in Golden Age paintings. Every panel he draws now is a flawless imitation of the masters. But nothing. Still, no one notices. Araki bounces back. I just gotta train harder. He reinvests all the money he's made with manga up to this point and travels the world to study the classics. 1 month he's in Amsterdam studying Van Gogh, the next he's sizing out the Great Pyramids of Egypt. But nothing he sees is new to him. He recognizes every technique, he's studied them for years, copied them into his manga. Every painting is flat on a wall, a couple nice lines, some fancy colors. So why does this count as art, but not this? You know what? Maybe it's not even my fault. Maybe my audience just doesn't care about art. He's about to give up on the whole trip. One last museum, then I'm going home. But when he arrives in the Galleria Borghese in Rome, it hits him. Araki looks up at the sculpture of Apollo and Daphne, and for the first time, he can't look away. The way the statue twists and arcs, how it seems to breathe as it spirals through three-dimensional space. It's nothing like he'd ever seen before. Nothing he's ever drawn. There's no way he can copy this. For the first time, he sees the gap between his manga and real art. But it's weird. Instead of being depressed, Araki is smiling. This is it! This is what my manga's missing! If I could just make my characters do this, not just look good, but feel like they're about to burst off the page. He spends hours studying the sculpture from every angle, taking it all in. No more copying. If he wants to be able to draw like this, he needs to understand. And so Araki hurries home to do what he does best. Grind. More JoJo comes out. Each part more dynamic, more alive than the last. Then another. He's getting so close, he can almost taste it. Araki empties his soul into the final pages of JoJo Part 6, sends it off, and a few weeks later, crickets. Still just another great JoJo chapter. And even worse, the very first JoJo memes are starting to spawn. After a decade of grinding, Araki is no closer to becoming an artist. Instead, he's becoming a meme. This is not good. Araki's dream is inching further and further out of reach, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. But wait, maybe my audience just doesn't care about art. In his desperation, he bets it all on a risky gamble. If people in Japan won't see my manga as art, he thinks to himself, I'll just go somewhere else. Paris, the art capital of the world. If my work is gonna be recognized anywhere, it's gotta be there. But if he fails, he'll be the laughingstock of the most prestigious art community on Earth. He has to do it. The Louvre isn't taking submissions from random Japanese manga artists right now, so Araki does the next best thing. In 2003, he opens his own exhibit in the Vadovi Gallery. And to his surprise, it's a massive hit! The French pick up on all his techniques. They get every JoJo art reference, and for the first time ever, his art is getting the credit it deserves. Araki is in pure glee. The doubt hanging over him evaporates. And now, it's time for the mother lode. But the Louvre still isn't interested, so he flies back to Japan and plays the waiting game. 6 years pass. Araki continues working on JoJo while his art picks up steam in French art circles. Then suddenly, one evening in 2009, an email arrives. Fabrice Duar, one of the top curators at the Louvre, is looking for 5 talented artists for an ambitious new project. He wants to bring comics into the museum. Jackpot. This is it, the opportunity he's been waiting for. Araki is shaking with excitement, but an intrusive thought holds him back. What if they find out about the memes? They're French, they're all about sophistication and class. If they find out, they'll tear me apart. But the payoff is just too great. He goes for it anyway. Araki draws a 123-page one-shot manga in full color for the exhibit called Rohan at the Louvre. It's his love letter to the craft, filled to the brim with art references and all the techniques he's learned over the years. It follows Rohan, a side character in JoJo, as he chases down a cursed painting through the Louvre and its maze-like basement. He clicks send. Hours turn into days, turn into weeks of silence. And then... For the next 81 days, JoJo, the meme factory, will be displayed in full at the Louvre. And on day 82, they shut it down. Not because it was bad or anything. The exhibit was a limited run, so it rotated out all according to schedule. And so Araki goes down in history as the first Japanese mangaka ever to be featured in the prestigious halls of the Louvre. He gets invited to collaborate with luxury fashion brands, open galleries. The French art world now knows him as this artistic genius. And he is. But to the internet, to all of his fans, Hirohiko Araki will forever be the culprit responsible for all of the JoJo memes. Wait, is that JoJo? What the f is that doing here? The Waldo!